Act. And we're really glad we have Governor Mike DeWine with us from Ohio. And he joins us by phone. Governor, you know about this balancing act as well as anybody. You've got one of the bigger, more successful states in the nation. But from the beginning, you actually have taken a pretty firm line on choosing the health of your citizens, especially your senior citizens, first, even when you knew it would cause pain to the economy. Tell us about that process that you have to go through every day.
Well, I'm very fortunate. I have a great director of health in Amy Acton. So, I listened to her. We put together a panel of doctors. We're listening to them. And the decisions were certainly not easy decisions, because you know that you're inflicting pain on people and on small businesses, as you just pointed out. And so these are real people. These are real people who work at restaurants when we close the restaurants. These are real people who work at bars. And so, yeah, it's tough, but we made the decision. We got to first keep everybody alive. We got to first do everything that we can to lessen the damage, and then, because it doesn't, frankly, do a lot of good for your economy to have your whole healthcare system blow up. And that's the thing that we're all struggling to deal with right now. We're really, in Ohio and other states, in a race. That is, we've got to build our hospitals up. We think we have to increase our capacity 2 to maybe 3 times, and we're in the process of doing that. But at the same time, we're trying to hold this thing back a little bit and slow it down, spread it out, so that we don't overwhelm the healthcare system like we're seeing in New York. We certainly saw it in Italy, and that's my greatest fear every single day when I wake up. There's a sense of urgency. We got to build out, but at the same time, we got to keep people apart so we slow this thing down.
Well, and so you agree then with Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx and the president's decision to wait till the end of April, but also perhaps we may have to wait till June 1st to see our first Cincinnati Reds or Cleveland Indians game.
Well, yes, I'm not even sure when that's going to be. I mean, our son Brian runs a minor league baseball team in Asheville, North Carolina, and I told him about a couple of weeks ago. He said, when are we going to play? And I said, man, if we're playing by July, we'll be lucky. So, I'm hoping before then, and but we just got to do what we got to do to get through this. And one of the things I told people on St. Patrick's Day when we closed the bars, everything, I said, look, we all want to be around for the next St. Patrick's Day and the next one, and we want to be able to, see our families grow up. And so these are trade-offs, but we got to err on the side of keeping people alive.
Governor, will you send a message out to people in your state and people in the part of the country I grew up in, Central Time Zone? They're still hearing some people on television and radio say this is just a New York City thing. If you're in Middle America, you don't have to worry about it. It's being overhyped. It's being overblown. It's kind of like when they said this was an Italy thing or a China thing. Can you just warn the good people in Ohio, and I've got a lot of relatives there, and across the country, that this is coming? It may not be as intense as New York City, but everybody's got to batten down the hatches and prepare.
Well, all the scientific evidence that we see, all the modeling that we see indicates that it is here. It's expanding. One model shows us doubling every 3 or 4 days the number of people who are infected. And so a lot of this you don't see. We don't have the testing that we need. Most states don't have the testing, and so you're not getting the real numbers. But we know it's growing, and it just keeps growing faster and faster and faster. And so it's coming right at us. And so what we do in our lives every day, and staying away from other people and doing all the things that we keep hearing on TV, we got to keep doing. We got to keep doing them if we're going to, all make it through this thing.
All right, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, thank you so much for being on the show, and we greatly appreciate your leadership in this pandemic. We hope to talk to you again very soon.
With you. Thank you very much.
And I'll tell you what, Jack and my boys are going to be very sad to hear that baseball would be lucky if we started baseball season in July, but I think the governor's actually right there. We'll be lucky if we do start it up by July.
And that was straight talk. I mean, it's it's certainly refreshing. I would much rather not have to be translating for the President of the United States. He said a lot of things that can give us some encouragement that scientists are leading the decision making. But there is a lot of distracting ground noise that is pretty disturbing to many, especially to those who just need information as to how they're supposed to live their lives to get through this safely. Well, and the governor of Ohio just gave, the people of his state and the rest of the country a sense that this goes on possibly till July, that it's coming right at us, that the numbers are expanding. They're not going down. We're not even at the peak of this, which the president did say yesterday. The peak of this might be Easter. It might be. It might not be.
We still have at least 2-3 weeks before we reach the peak of this, even in New York City. Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.